Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in. Welcome to Nature's People. In today's video, I'm going to talk about why is there segregation in the US on a foreigner's perspective. All right, I'll get right into it. The first time I traveled to the US, I was first in the state of Texas, and one of the things I have to notice is that there is in terms of engagement, as far as work is concerned and life systems are concerned, like shops, shopping malls, and whatnot, people are very relatable, regardless of race and whatever. However, when you go to the suburbs and the regions where people have settlements, you don't have a tendency to notice that actually people don't live quite together as far as racial groups are concerned. All right. I've traveled to many regions, and one of the things I have to say is that white Americans, black Americans, and Hispanics were really nice people in general, but the most lively people I found out there were the African Americans. One of the things is that I always found a sort of engagement to life as a whole, like they were really pro sports, they were pro music, pro science, really smart people. The Hispanics too, they were really nice, they had great food. The whites too, really smart, really engaging. So all these groups, and there's no Asians and whatnot. Now, getting right into it, on my personal perspective, being foreigner, I guess most of you guys can tell from my accent that I'm not from America. On a personal perspective, why is there segregation in the US? First, for a person who has a preconceived notion, would definitely say that segregation in the US is because of racism, or say like white people don't want to mix with black people, or black people don't want to mix with white people, or Hispanic people don't want to mix with either one groups. But the more I started interacting with these people, I noticed one thing. So guys, me as a foreigner, I've traveled to over 74 countries all around the world. I've been to Asia, I've been to Europe, Africa, Latin America. So traveling is really constructive as far as it makes you see things on a broader perspective, rather than just looking at things on a singular pathway, which really helps and supports your mental flexibility, and it's really enlightening and enriching. So basically I was like, the more interactions I've been having, I can easily adjust to any cultural mindset or cultural way of thinking. And I noticed that for the people that I engage with, like be the Latinos, the Hispanics, be the whites, the blacks, there's always people, there are always certain groups of people that really were really enthusiastic, had enthusiasm and willingness to interact with me and make friends with me, and have me go along with them as far as hang out, present me to friends and whatnot. So basically that's what I have to say, that the conclusion over segregation in the US, for me, it wasn't actually based on race. I'll dive right deep into something else, which is wealth. But for now, race wasn't a thing. I never saw a white person saying that he wouldn't deal with black people or talk with black people or be friends with black people because they were actually black. I never saw any black person say they wouldn't engage with white people because they were white. And I never saw Hispanic people putting the same rhetoric. So, according to my personal perspective as a foreigner, that wasn't the reason. Well, it might be the people who are living in America and they're born, raised, and live their entire life there, they have a better perspective, a better look, because they've been experiencing this segregation thing for years, so maybe decades. So put down in your comments, explain me what do you think, what are the perspectives as being a citizen. and being born there. Now, following up with my comments, the things I have to say also is that you know, first I'll start up top of the class. Mindset. If a black person has the same mindset as a white person, like they like history, they like they like science, they like technology, they into sports, they will mingle, definitely. Anywhere in the world, be it in America, be it in Europe, Canada, when people have same things that join them together, it's stronger than racial differences, period. And that's what I've noticed in America, that there are people, black people, that had the same mindsets and concepts as white people, and they really hanged out, they went along really easy. Now to add up to that, I also have to say that wealth, so wealth disparities. So I noticed that mostly in white neighborhoods, the level of wealth was just staggering. Like in the white neighborhoods, I saw really big houses, really tremendously big cars, and they're boasting, environment, like well chopped grasses. You guys can see, a lot of people ask, where do I live? I'm not going to disclose that, but you can see here that the loaning here, it's more different because there is weed along with loaning. But in the US, I noticed that they have something called a weed killer. So just to promote the growth of grass specifically, which is something a little bit strange, but what can we do? It's the US. So like the loaning there was really great, well maintained, well good. There's also rich black neighborhoods. However, it's not that much common to see, and the hospitals also for the wealthier neighborhoods were just great. So one of the things I noticed, that a great chunk of the wealthier people that are living in the big neighborhoods, like in the wealthier neighborhoods, tend to be of Caucasian descent. Nothing against that, it's just a fact that I noticed. Maybe you guys can educate me more about that. And I don't think that has anything to do with race and segregation. I think it's a lifestyle. Like one of the things I noticed is that most Caucasian or European descendants, especially their societies, you go to Australia, you go to New Zealand, you go to Europe, their countries tend to be very wealthy. Well, I don't know why is that.